Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I will give you my Blu-ray haul part 8. Before we start, I just want to say sorry if some things are a little bit noisy. I am in my living room and I have not YouTube-proofed this room yet, so you can hear some noise. But I was thinking, where was I gonna do this special video? Would I make this in my room where everything is kinda the same and kinda everything you ever see? Or would I just show you around my house a little bit and show you the wall that I have been filling up with Blu-rays? And I thought that is the best idea to go for this video. It's a different background, it's a different style, it's a different everything, and it's a long-ass video that we're gonna make because I have 51 new Blu-ray movies to show you. A quick update, I am now living alone, so I have to pay for a lot more of stuff than I used to do when I was not living alone. So I cannot do these kind of videos so often because I just do not buy that many Blu-rays anymore. It's something I want to say. I'm sorry for y'all. It's just the way of living my life. Another quick update before we start. I have now my own Blu-ray collection list on Letterboxd. So if you follow me on Letterboxd or have an account on Letterboxd, please follow me. You can actually see my entire Blu-ray collection stacked upon there. I think I have around 450 Blu-rays in total. Today we're adding 51 more to the list. All right, so getting straight into it with, of course, the Marvel movies up top. And it's been so long since I actually did a Blu-ray haul that I actually still have Black Widow to show you. Of course I was gonna buy Black Widow on Blu-ray when it came out. It's not the best movie, but I still had a lot of fun with it. So Black Widow, I am actually quite happy this movie came out, only for it to come out 5 years later than was actually needed for this movie to succeed. Yelena Belova is one of the best things to come out of it. Florence Pugh is just great. Scarlett Johansson was sidelined in her own movie, but that's something we have seen with Marvel a lot more recently. Still happy to have Black Widow in my collection though. No surprises here, but ShangChi is now in my collection too. I have actually rewatched this movie over the Blu-ray on a smaller screen before, and I gotta say, it just doesn't hold up that great anymore. I mean, it's still a very good movie, and it's one of the better origin stories within the MCU, but I still gotta say, I loved the movie when I first watched it. I just liked the movie the second time around. Maybe it will win my heart over again, but as of now, the movie is still very good, but got a little less good when I rewatched it. But the thing that got me excited, this movie is directed by Daniel Destin Cretton, and he has been set to direct Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. So that makes me a little bit more excited for what Destin has in play for us, as he is also directing Shang-Chi 2. He's directing a series, I think, and he is writing certain episodes for the Wonder Man series that has yet to be announced. So Destin Daniel Cretton has been a great deal within Marvel already. So I am excited to see what he brings next. And this one, it was a solid start. When I see this movie, I think he can do something good with Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. Eternals, it's just not the best movie within the MCU, and I bought it because I still want to have my collection complete. I have yet to rewatch this movie, but I don't know, it just does not excite me to watch again. Maybe it will in the future, and there will come a day where I say I want to watch Eternals again. It's just not now, and I watched this movie one time in theaters, that's it. I watched Spider-Man 5 times, and so much more. So yeah, Eternals, it's okay. Then we have Spider-Man No Way Home, and getting this movie in my collection actually was a big pain in the ass because fuck you, Sony, when you announced that you will not bring out Blu-rays anymore to the Belgium and Netherlands and Luxembourg countries. It's really sad that you blocked me from getting this. I had to import this over Germany. I still thank you for all the Germans for actually getting me this movie. The Blu-ray is a little bit fatter than everything else in my collection, so that's actually a bit sad that it now breaks my wall, and we're getting to a point where I just do not have a lot of place left anymore. So yeah, it's gonna be great. I think with Doctor Strange and Thor Love and Thunder, I think this thing is full. I hope I can get Black Panther Wakanda Forever in there too, because that would mean that I have the entire Phase 1 trilogy till Phase 4 in my collection in one stamp. I'm gonna have to see in the future. Why do I feel like it has 2 discs? It hasn't, it's just 1 disc. It's awesome. I have Spider-Man No Way Home. It just took me a second to actually get it into my collection. This is also the first movie that I bought when I wasn't this home. It got delivered to me in the post. So yeah, No Way Home. Finally got it. Then we move to this side of the room, and I have bought Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's the 4-hour cut of the bad Justice League movie made by Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder when he sadly got to step away from the projects and then got fucked up by Warner Bros. So yeah, this movie, I just had to buy it. When it first came out, it actually was announced that this was going to come out at the end of the year. So I pre-ordered it like 7 months before I actually got to have this, but suddenly they released the Blu-ray like 4 months earlier, and I got this earlier, and I was so happy because now I have Zack Snyder's Justice League in my collection. It's the best superhero movie within the DCEU by far. Maybe Aquaman. Aquaman is maybe a little bit better. I just love this. It's great, it's phenomenal. I am so happy that I have this movie in my collection now. Now You See Me Too is a movie that I had bought because in an earlier episode I said and I realized that I only had the first Now You See Me. Now I got them both. I haven't seen this movie in like a year or 3, 4, so I don't really remember anything from it, so I have to rewatch it. But I'm happy. I liked this movie when I first watched it, so Now You See Me Too is now officially in my collection, and my Now You See Me franchise is complete. And I have heard that they finally announced Now You See Me 3, so that makes me happy. Then we go to Pixar. I have bought Soul. Soul, of course, is on Disney+, but I like to have the physical copies when my internet fucks out. And I have seen and I have noticed in my new apartment, I have bought a little bit cheaper and my internet fucks out a lot. So yeah, it's actually quite handy to have these. Soul, when I first watched it, I was not a big fan of it. I saw what everyone is going wild for, but it's just okay, I think. And rethinking about it, I gotta say, this movie has grown on me. I now completely see why it's so popular. I now completely see what is great about this. I now completely see the full picture of Soul and why it deserved the Oscar. I still think Wolfwalkers was way better for the Oscar, but I'm happy that this got nominated too. I'm still salty about Wolfwalkers. And then I watched Luca. Wasn't completely blown away about this too, but I liked this more the first time around than I liked Soul the first time around. So yeah, this movie, it's not the best movie. It doesn't make you cry, but it has a heart. And that is what's most important for a Pixar movie. It has heart. It is fun. It is heartwarming. And that is why I love Pixar. This movie, not the deepest story, but one of the more heartwarming ones. So this, I got a soft spot. Godzilla vs. Kong, the pandemic movie that I actually could not see in a movie theater because of the ongoing pandemic and the theaters being closed. Fun fact, I actually did get to see this movie in a movie theater because they did bring it out in certain theaters in the Netherlands, and the theater closest to my house was one of them. So I actually got to see Godzilla vs. Kong. I was so happy that I did because this movie is so much fun. I loved the battles between Godzilla and Kong and Mechagodzilla and everything else. This movie, I have a soft spot for this franchise. King of the Monsters wasn't the best. The first Godzilla, I am not the biggest fan of it, but I am a big fan of Kong, and this movie brought it all home for me, and I actually really loved it. Then we're taking on a collection. It's the first collection of many in this video because I have bought quite a few collections, and it's the Star Trek New Trilogy collection. I have to do it like this, we have the first Star Trek, we have Star Trek Into Darkness, and we have Star Trek Beyond. It's the latter three. I have heard that they are actually making the fourth one. I was not the biggest fan of all the older Star Trek movies. They were a little bit too slow for me. They were a little bit too political for me. I didn't really care about anything that was going on with it. But then they decided to make more blockbuster-like movies for Star Trek, and I really got to love every single one of them. I really love this franchise. These are my favorites by far from Star Trek. It's the only thing I got from Star Trek, so that is saying a lot too. I just really like this version of Star Trek. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, actually is the first Conjuring movie I have in my possession. It's interesting. I really like this, and I am so happy with this movie because I thought it was pretty good. But then again, I gotta say the first two Conjuring movies were just better. Why I do not have those on Blu-ray, I do not know, but I have this one. I still like it. It's just the worst of the three. Talking about sequels, A Quiet Place Part 2 is now in my collection too. I really like this movie. Maybe the first one is still better, but this one is a close second. It's actually pretty good for what they did with the material, and even though they spread and widened the universe, it was still a pretty good movie, and I actually quite liked what they were doing with it. A Quiet Place Part 2. It's a lesser brother of the first A Quiet Place, but it's still a very successful movie that I really, really liked. Oh yes, and Cillian Murphy was a perfect casting, even though I had my doubts first. Then we're going to the comedies. Free Guy. I have watched this movie twice in theaters. I really loved it. Ryan Reynolds, Supremacy. He was phenomenal. He was great. He was fantastic. He was awesome. He was everything I wanted him to be. The movie was everything I wanted it to be. I cheered. I laughed. I cried. I had everything I wanted from this movie. I will gladly rewatch it. Free Guy is phenomenal. The movie that actually made me think about Tom Holland as a great actor and a great coming to be actor. I loved his performance in this, but I loved Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor even more. And I gotta say, the movie is almost perfect. I actually love everything about this movie. It's awesome, it's heartbreaking, it's heartwarming, it's intense, it's everything you want it to be. This is a great natural disaster movie, and you should definitely watch it if you haven't done already. The second collection I have in my possession is the Alien collection, the Alien Anthology. And I gotta say, I don't have all the Alien movies because these are only Aliens, or Alien, the first movie, Aliens, the second movie, Alien 3, the third movie, and Alien Resurrection, the fourth movie. I love about 50% of these. I think you know which 50%, the first and the second one. The third and fourth one, not the biggest fan, still like it. Really hate what they were doing with the little girl, forgot her name for a second, but really hate what they did with it, with that girl in the third one, like killing her off immediately. Kind of broke everything from the second Alien movie. I do not have Covenant or Prometheus or everything else from that Alien franchise. I'm sorry, it's these four I have. Still happy I got those. Actually bought this after I watched this exact same thing with Kevin, only he had it on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. Cannot forget the Jurassic Park Ultimate Trilogy. This one served me well a few months ago when I got to watch the Jurassic World Dominion movie. I actually watched these for the second time, but first time in my own collection. Really loved it, really liked it. First one, phenomenal. Second one, Third one, funny. It's not the best franchise overall. The first one was phenomenal, but I'm happy I have all movies in my collection now. Even though, yeah, I do have the other two movies. I talked about them earlier. But now I have the Jurassic World of the Jurassic Park franchise too. Really happy. Third collection, it's in my possession. If you have not seen the movie Prisoners yet, I demand you to stop watching this video, leave a like on it so you can come back later and go watch this movie. It is phenomenal. It is awesome. It's from Denis Villeneuve. It's the same director as, what was the name? Dune. So yeah, you should watch this. Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman are awesome in this. The story is phenomenal. The story is heartbreaking. Everything about this movie is heartbreaking. It's one of the best movies ever made. Prisoners, you should definitely have seen this movie in your life because everything about it is great. I cannot give you a single flaw apart from it ends and maybe a little bit the ending. I actually got this movie, The Three Musketeers, for free. I got it from a friend of mine and I did not see it yet. It's the Blu-ray 3D, the regular Blu-ray, the DVD and the digital copy, but I have yet to see it. I have heard it's awful, and that makes me want to see it even more, but I have never seen The Three Musketeers, so I cannot say anything about it. Still have to see it. In an earlier episode, I showed you Pacific Rim Uprising. Today I can finally announce you I have the first Pacific Rim, the better one of the two. I have not rewatched this movie yet, but I am definitely wanting to do so because wow, Pacific Rim is awesome. I really like this movie. The soundtrack is great, everything about it is great, the visuals is great. I just really like action movies like this, over the top and everything is going on at the same time. I don't know what I'm saying, but this one, I am so happy I finally got it in my collection because it's worth it. It's a great movie. I mean, it is regularly seen as an awful movie, but I had the time of my life with The War of Grandpa and I am so happy I got it in my collection. It's not a good movie, but it was so fun to watch. And whenever I have friends over, I think I will recommend watching The War with Grandpa because of how funny it is. It's over the top, it is stupid, it has a lot of stupid things in it, but I still liked it. Then we go to Belgium and the Netherlands for a second because there is a series on here and you can actually watch this worldwide on Netflix. I recommend to you to watch this series. It is great, it is phenomenal. You can watch an English dubbed version, but I recommend just watching the Dutch one because it is phenomenal. It is Undercover. It's a great series. It's about drugs. It's about an undercover agent going fucked up on everything, and it is good. It is great. It is phenomenal. Frank Lammers, is phenomenally great as Ferry Bouwman. Tom Waas is awesome as Bob. It is great. I really love this. It's a great season. It's a great Dutch work. I think this is one of the most beautiful and the best things that Belgian TV has ever produced. It's also one of the only things I have ever watched from the Belgian TV. But Undercover Season 1, please watch it. It's phenomenal. And when you're done watching Season 1, go watch Season 2 because it's as great as the first one. The third season is also great. I think it's on Netflix worldwide, not for me, but I watched it and I loved it. Undercover Season 2, it's not as good as the first season and this one goes a little bit too far near the end, but it's still very good and I really, really loved everything about Undercover. And Season 3, it's a great season too. I hope they were gonna end it, but I think they are gonna make more of it. Undercover Season 2, please just watch it. It is phenomenal. Because I work in a movie theater, sometimes we can get free movies that we actually got for a price but never got to, how is it called? People never picked it up. So this prize actually came to me after it was in our closet for years. But I have the Scream trilogy. I do not have the fourth and the fifth one, but I do have the first three. It's like small and very thin DVDs, and I actually liked it. And I don't like that it's DVD because Blu-ray is just so better in quality, but I'm so happy that I got these three still. And the fifth one may be it's not my favorite one. I mean, the first one still is, together with the fourth one. Scream 5 is a solid third, but I really like one of these two. I actually like all of them, but I love the first of these. I bought The Notebook too. It's on DVD, but it doesn't matter because it's such a great movie and it's great on every platform you watch it in. The Notebook, it's an interesting story. It's a sad story. It's a great story. It's a love story. It's, what are they called? Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling. They are phenomenal in it. I mean, I watched this movie in school like 6-7 years ago, and I was so blown away by it. I had to have this movie, and now I do. Another movie I still need to watch is 12 Years a Slave. I have heard this movie is great. I can clearly see 3 Academy Awards in 2014, including Best Picture. So I know this is great, but I have not seen this movie as of now. I want to see it. It just did not get to the right moment as of now. But I will watch this in the future and I will be happy about it. So I'm sorry that I didn't watch this as of now. Then I got some other movies, like we had this one at work too. It's Black Sheep. It's a movie about evil sheep eating people. It's funny, it's gory, it's evil sheep. What do you want more? I think we all know the legacy of the Saw franchise. The first one remains the best by far. The movie, the setup, the puzzles, the reveals, the ending, it was all great. I really love Saw. It's the start of a great franchise that got better and awful and even more awful near the end. But I hope they can make it better with Saw 10 or Saw X. Saw! You should watch it if you have not seen it. It is great. Another Flemish movie, and the first Flemish zombie movie, Yummy. It's actually filmed in the hospital that I was born in. So when I watched this movie, I could actually recognize the room where they were in. It was very fascinating to see, but also very creepy. I loved the movie for what it did. It was over the top and did a great job. I actually want to watch it again. Maybe I will do that this week. But Yummy, it's awesome. I really loved it. It's over the top, it's not the best, but it's just so much fun. And a movie that is absolutely no fun, but just heartbreaking and heart-tearing and eye-dropping, it's The Broken Circle Breakdown. Great movie. Phenomenal movie even. But oh my fucking god, I cried my eyes out. I was doing like a Flemish marathon from Flemish movies. Oh my god, The Broken Circle Breakdown. Oh, when I still think about it, it breaks my heart. This is one of the most heartbreaking movies that I have ever seen in my entire life. It's a Dutch movie, it's a Flemish movie, but you should definitely watch it if you haven't already. Post notes, you're not gonna be happy watching it, but it's definitely recommendable. And I did a film quiz with my colleagues and I actually ended up being last. And even though I am the YouTuber and even though I am the film critic and the film expert, I still ended up being last. It was a gut punch to be sure. And then I was the last one to choose my present or to choose my, what is it called? It's like, yeah, presents. I thought about me being last and I had to pick the worst present ever. After we collided, on DVD even. There was a mosquito. I killed it. Now we can move on to the better movies that are out there instead of After We Collided. And I have Jackie Brown. It's a Quentin Tarantino film. It's very great. Can't remember much of it. Wasn't my favorite of the Quentin Tarantino films, but I liked it still. It was like a movie that I will probably rewatch in like 10 years or time or so. It was just fine and I liked it. So it was worth buying on Blu-ray. Up to this day, it remains one of my most notable comments on a movie ever. The fact that I didn't like Pulp Fiction. It's still, I do think it's a good movie, but I just was not feeling it at all. Maybe, and I will rewatch this, that's why I bought the Blu-ray for this movie. I just didn't like it that much. I thought it was fine, but that's about it. I thought it was fine. I am gonna rewatch it to rethink what I earlier said, but as of now, I don't like it. I like it, but I don't. I had The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, so Batman Begins couldn't be forgotten in my collection, so now I have finally bought it. It's finally my collection. I finally the full trilogy of this. Christopher Nolan is a great director. I am really looking forward to Oppenheimer because finally we have a movie about something historical and I know the story about it. So that is just great. And being directed by Christopher Nolan, it cannot go wrong. So yeah, Batman Begins, I like the movie. It's my least favorite of the three, but I still very much like it. And the theater experience I had for this movie helped way better than I wanted it to be. Shawshank Redemption, a movie I first watched in the movie theater during the pandemic, and it was so incredibly great, I had to buy it on Blu-ray. I now did, still have to rewatch it, but oh my god, this movie killed me in all the right ways. It was a phenomenal movie. It was a great movie. It was a fantastic movie. It was a perfect movie. The Shawshank Redemption. You should watch it. I showed you this movie before, Just Mercy. I just want to say this movie is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton II, the director of Shang-Chi and Avengers, The Kang Dynasty. Just remind you of it. Drunk, the Danish movie with Mads Mikkelsen in the leading role. I love this movie. Everything is good about it. It tells a great story and you should watch it if you haven't already because it's just phenomenal. It's awesome. It tells a great story. It tells a heartbreaking story. It tells an interesting story. It tells a fascinating story. It's a fascinating movie that you should definitely watch, and it rightfully deserves everything that got to it. Then I got a movie in French, and it says Une Nuit en Enfer, and I think it is From Dusk Till Dawn. I am not sure at this moment. I can't watch because my mobile phone is upstairs charging. Yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn, I think it's this one. Still have to see it though. I want to see it, and I'm gonna see it, but I don't know anything about it as of now. It's just, I got the movie for free from my work. Une Nuit en Enfer, gotta watch it. From Dusk Till Dawn, I think. I'm not sure, I'm sorry. Getting to the last 6 movies, we start with some Dutch ones again. We have The Racer. It's a European movie, mostly about being Dutch. I mean, this guy, Louis Talpe, he's Flemish, he's Belgian. Matteo Simoni, he's Flemish, he's Belgian. This guy, I think it's Ian Glenn. He's Irish, he's not from Belgium. And like there are other people from all over Europe in this movie too. It's a movie about biking, it's a movie about drugs, it's a movie about suffering, and it's good. If you haven't watched it, I think it's on Netflix. You should definitely give it a try because it's an interesting movie. And if you like sports and if you like the cycling sport, this movie should be on your radar because it is good. Oorlogswinter, or A War's Winter, is a movie set in the set in the Second World War. It's about a kid that finds an Englishman, and I have not seen this movie in like 12 or 15 years, so I actually really have to rewatch this. It was a great movie when I first watched it. When I saw they had this movie on Blu-ray, I had to buy it. I can't really remember anything more from this apart from being very, very good, even though I was a child and I couldn't understand anything from it. It's a great movie. Please watch it. Rundfunk Jachterwachter is a movie that will not say anything to my English audiences, but I still bought it. And if you like movies or series like South Park, but then in live action, I think that is the best way to describe it. It's dark, it's gritty, it is funny, it is very adult. Let's just say that. The language they use, it's adult. Please do not watch this with your kids or if you are a kid. If you can understand Dutch, this movie is worth watching. If you can't understand Dutch, I don't think this movie will do you any justice. I'm sorry. It's a fun movie. I had a really fun time watching it. Then we have Dune. Of course, I had to buy this movie when it first came out on Blu-ray. It's great, it's phenomenal, it's fucking Dune. They are currently filming Dune Part 2. I am really excited for that one. Dune, the first one, it had great visuals, great visual effects. It was great all over the way. The story, it was only a part of a story and you could really feel that because the movie dragged an awful lot, but it still did a great job in setting up a lot of stuff. I just don't think this movie will hold up as great as it did in the movie theater, but because the screen is a lot smaller, I am still gonna watch it again before Dune Part 2 comes out, and I will watch that on a smaller screen. I am just excited to rewatch this because I just don't think this movie will hold up as good as it did on a big screen. Then we have Spencer, the movie about Lady Diana. I have bought this movie to show it to other people because this movie is great. Kristen Stewart is phenomenal, is great, directing is great, story is great, everything about this is great. I really hoped Kristen Stewart was gonna win the Oscar, but I am quite happy that the other actress won, but I forgot who it was. I really forgot. No, can't remember. I'm sorry. Then I have bought Benetta. I'm sorry I have to hold this like this or my video will get taken down. Benetta, it's like a porn movie from Paul Verhoeven. It is about a nun. And when I said those two things, you should be interested in this movie already. It is interesting. It is very interesting. I mean, they make like a dildo out of a Maria statue, and that is quite concerning. Paul Verhoeven, are you okay, buddy? Yeah, Benedetta. Liked it more than I wanted it to, but it got on my radar. I really, really like Benedetta. And that's it. That concludes my newest Blu-ray haul on this channel. I hope you liked it. I hope you had a great time watching this. Did you buy any new Blu-ray since my last video? I think almost over a year ago. Please let me know in the comments down below because I'm really excited to hear your Blu-ray hauls. Thank you for watching. And if I have to give you a tip, if you want other people to know what kind of movies you have, add them on Letterboxd. Add them in a separate list, your Blu-ray collection. It's great for you because you can very easily see what movies you still have to buy and what movies you already have, and other people can see it too. So it's just a tip from me. Add your own collection on Letterboxd and let's compete on how many Blu-rays we have. Thank you for watching. Give a like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already, and bye bye.